Listo Capote, and we're back with another deck profile. This time it's a new deck, one that I haven't really gotten into before, but one that I'm really excited about because I've been playing it for the past couple of weeks at locals, in addition to Heroes and Pearly, and I think that it is really fun. And honestly, in the new format, it has some legs, which is why I'm excited to present to you Mikanko Libromancer. Now, this is my own build of the deck. Like, it's something that I've worked on. I've worked pretty hard, and I think it works really well, especially against stuff like Branded Despia and Kashtira. I've had a lot of testing with some friends and like people who I believe are really good players. I think that the deck can stand on its legs, and if you know the deck well enough, it can win. Anyway, let's get into it. So first, let's start with the extra deck because I think it's the less important part. So first, we have one Nightmare Unicorn. Then I'm playing on Underworld Goddess of the Close. Oh, by the way, this is going to be the quick deck profile, so I'm just going to go over the cards real quick and give some explanations. But the more in-depth explanation is going to be in another video that I'll put in the link in the description if you want to watch that one. But Underworld Goddess Closed World, there are a lot of problem cards. People are starting to play Dragoon. People are starting to play Pearly, which have just big monsters that just can't be beat by things, can't be targeted, right? And Underworld Goddess of Closed World, you can summon 4 monsters really easily. Especially with IP Masquerade on the field, you can do that you can do that turn one, and then turn on their turn you can IP into this thing if they bring out the cheese, you know, which is really useful and I think really important. Then Photon Strike Bouncer. This is my XCs of choice. If you can't go into Baron because they cleared it, or you just don't want to go into Baron because you're dumb. No, if you don't want to go into Baron for some reason, maybe you want the Zeus line, you can go into Photon Strike Bouncer. It does come with a negate, monster negate, which is good. It's my choice of XC's monster because I think it's the better one. But then I'm playing Crusadia Avermax along with IP Masquereno, which is right here. I'm playing these two because this is sort of like our Dragoon type monster, right? If you play a deck that can't out a monster that can't be targeted, can't be destroyed, then like Kashtira has a very hard time clearing this card because you can't target it, can't destroy it. It gains a bunch of attack. It's the same reason why they have trouble clearing Dragoon. I think this is a really smart inclusion, especially since we can make it so easily. It's just easy to make and pretty good, you know. Then we have Soul Day, Tales of Noble Knights. We play equip spells in this deck, and we play warrior monsters that are pretty good. So having this is not a bad idea. It's, I think, really good. Then we have one Zeus. We have one Dark. This is supposed to be Baron, but I don't have a Baron. I just really want to make the deck profile. For those who don't know who a Baron does and you can't read it because it's just the back of the card. What it does is once per turn you can pop a card your opponent controls. Once per time that it's on the field, you can do an Omni Negate, and then during the standby gate phase, you can put it back into the extra deck and summon a level 9 or lower monster from your graveyard, which is basically you're going to revive Diviner of the Herald and make it again, which is really good. Then Elder Entity Entis, you're playing Diviner of the Herald, which can dump a fairy, which this is, so if you need an extra pop, that is your extra pop. Then we're playing 2 Herald of the Arclight, because this can search any ritual monster and you can dump it with Diviner of the Herald. Then we're playing 1 Beatrice. This is another Xyz monster you can go into if you need it. And then we're playing Access Code and Appaloosa. Appaloosa is just all around just a good option if you're playing a lot of a very monster effect heavy deck and you think like, yeah, a few more negates could be good. You could always go into Appaloosa, or you can go into and then Access Code Talker just to close out games. It's really easy to go into, especially when you have Unicorn. It's just fantastic. Then we have the main deck. First, we have 1 Ronald. You can summon this off of Sold and then get any of the equip cards you dumped back, and which is really good because you can get a lot of the equip cards in this deck are really good, and I'll explain that when I get to there, but for now, that's that. Then we have 3 Diviner of the Herald. This card is your way to get into Baron. This card is your way into, as a starter, if you don't have a ritual monster in hand, you can always dump the Arclight, or its removal by virtue of Entis. I think it's really good, and 3 copies is the right answer. Then we have 3 Geek Boy. This is one of your main starters and extenders. It's it's just really good because you can search the field spell, which is a Rhoda, as well as a continuous ritual summon card. Then we have one agent. I see people playing two agent, but I don't think you need two agent because you can just recur it with intervention and then recur the intervention with agent, which is something that some people don't realize. This gets back any Libromancer card from the graveyard. It doesn't just get monsters, which sometimes you want to get fire, but if you play three fire, then you don't really need to a lot of the time. I played two fire because I don't have the third fire. Again, this is something that I've gotten recently. I'm looking for a third fire, and I would play three fire because it's probably the best card in your deck. It's a Stratos basically, and and also it's a free special summon, just like every other Libromancer. If you have a ritual monster in your hand, you can reveal it and then special summon the Libromancer monster. Then we have two Magician Souls. I see people playing three Magician Souls, but I don't think it's the best, especially because it's searchable with Illusion of Chaos, and I'd rather see one of the Libromancer monsters or one of the Mikanko monsters than the Magician Souls. But that's just me. I think it's really good, but because it's searchable so easily, I don't think it's necessary to play at three. Then we have the Mikanko monsters. We're only playing two of them because I think you only really need two of them, because they're recurable from the graveyard and because you're only really using their effects once. Hari the Sword Mikanko, when it's on the field and it's equipped with an equip spell, you can search for an equip spell from your deck, which is really good because it gets you access to all of them. And yeah. Then Nini, the Mirror Mikanko, she's my favorite. What you can do as well, it's on the field and it's equipped with an equip spell during your opponent's turn. As a quick effect, you can take possession of one of your target your opponent's monster and then steal it. So it's like a snatch steal on legs, which is really cool as a quick effect. So it's also interruption. And something that's really cool is for example, if they have an effect that activates the person who resolves the effect, so whoever has the card at point of resolution is the one who's going to resolve the effect. Then we have the ritual monsters of the deck. We're playing quite a few because ritual monsters are important in this deck. We're playing two Benten because it searches any of your fairy monsters, including Ohime, the Manifest Mikanko, which is the main reason that this deck is playable now, as well as your Diviner of the Herald if you already have no Ohime. Then we have two Illusion of Chaos because it searches Magician Souls, and it is a ritual monster that you can reveal off of whatever and get a few draws afterwards with Souls, which is, I play two of each because I don't think it's as necessary now with the Mikanko stuff, and I'd rather play more Mikanko stuff because it's just really good. Then we have our Libromancer rituals. We have one Fire Burst and one Doom Broker. I see a lot of people cutting Fire Burst, but I think it's really useful because it's just really useful for going to OTKs. It's so easy to summon, and on top of that, it's just like Doom Broker and this guy alone, if they only have one monster on the field, is OTK. It sort of makes it a little easier, especially because this guy does double battle damage and so he can deal 56 at most, which is a lot. Then Ohime the Manifest Mikanko. This is what makes the deck tick. So what this card does is you can discard a card. You can search Mikanko card from your deck and then discard a card. And then you can. So usually you're searching for the way to summon her, and then you're discarding like an equip spell that you don't need. And then while she's on the field, you can equip an equip spell from your graveyard to a monster on the field. Now this doesn't target, which is really cool. Which means it gets around stuff like targeting protection like Dragoon has or other stuff, because although equip spells by themselves innately target, you are not activating the equip spell, so it's not the equip spell. At least that's how I think it works. I might be wrong, but you are not activating the equip spell and targeting to equip. You are non-targeting equipping an equip spell as an effect, which makes it different, I think, in mechanics. I might be wrong. If I am wrong in the comments, please correct me. But that's how I've learned that it works. So I think I feel like it's the same as the amazement traps, where if you equip it with Comica, it's a little bit different. It's the same sort of thing. You can change the equipment and then equip it to Dragoon in the same way that you can do this. Then we have our Mikanko equip spells. So we have Fire Dance, which is basically special summon from a Mikanko monster from hand or graveyard. We have Purification Dance, which when equipped to a monster, you can, when they special summon a monster, you can choose one of those monsters and one of the monsters you control and bounce it back to the hand, which is really useful when you want to get your ritual monsters back to resolve more Libromancer effects or just interrupt. Usually you can either choose an extra Snatch Steal or that, which depending on the deck, it's useful. One of them is more useful than the other. Mikanko Water Breath, this basically just special summons from deck, and this one is the Snatch Steal. Now, I see a lot of people playing one of this because you can use it from graveyard and recur it from graveyard. But another thing that people don't realize is that, well, I don't know if they realize it or not, but I think it's really good, is that you can activate this card from hand and then equip it with the Ohime. So you can get 2 Snatch Steals in a turn. If you search this off Ohime and then discard another card, you can just get a lot. And you get a lot of advantage with the Libromancers, right? So it's just, I think it's useful to have 2 copies of this, but that's just me. Then we have the Libromancer Field Spell, Libromancer First Appearance. This is a Rhoda, and it can lets you ritual summon a Libromancer monster as long as it's on the field. And then 3 of the Great Mikanko Ceremony. I see a lot of people playing two, maybe even one of this, but I think summoning Ohime as much as possible is really good. And I found that while I played the deck when I had this at 2, I was always wanting the 3rd copy to be able to summon her again, right? Because then it's just easier. It's just the game's easier because you can either deal battle damage because of the Mikanko monsters, which I forgot to mention, was when they're equipped with equipped spells, you don't take the battle damage, your opponent takes the battle damage, right? So having just that option to go for OTK as well, or just an extra Snatch Steal or an extra like summon, it's just really useful. Then 3 Pot of Prosperity to be able to find your ritual monsters and your Mikonkos and like anything else really. Then 3 Emergency Teleport for the Geek Boy and 3 Preparation of Rites to be able to search for a ritual monster, and 1 Libromancer intervention for the Omni Negate that you can get off Doombroker. And that's all. If you guys have anything to if you guys have any questions, have anything, join the Discord, leave a comment, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. I hope you have a great day. So, little Ava here has decided that her new favorite spot is my underwear drawer, which she opens up by standing there on the bed, and then she just sits there and stares at me while I play video games. So this is my life now.